Okay, so here's the Denon DRA-910H, or DRA-900H depending on region, and Denon is claiming this will be your one-box stereo plus AV hub. But after living with it for weeks, there's one thing they never tell you in the ad. This unit has a split personality. It's part audiophile, part AV warrior, and that dual nature is both its strength and its Achilles heel. Let me walk you through what I loved, what frustrated me, and whether it's really worth your hard-earned cash. Denon DRA-910H product overview. So, what exactly are we looking at? The Denon DRA-910H, or widely documented DRA-900H, is a 2.2-channel network AV receiver released around 2023. It's part of Denon's modern, hybrid stereo AV line, designed for folks who want a quality 2-channel listening experience, plus HDMI connectivity for their TV, streaming, and future-proofing, 8K pass-through, etc. In other words, it's for people who hate juggling multiple boxes. You want quality sound, modern convenience, and fewer gear headaches. Denon DRA-910H performance. Alright, specs are one thing, but how did it actually feel to live with this on a day-to-day basis? I used it in two configurations, one as a pure stereo rig, vinyl, streaming, CD, and the other hooked up to my TV for movies and gaming. In daily listening, it was impressive. Vocals felt clear, mids weren't masked, and the dynamic range held up, especially when jumping from acoustic tracks to electronic production. The pure direct mode, which bypasses unnecessary signal pass, really tightened up the low end in critical listening. When switching to TV and using HDMI eARC, I bumped into a few quirks. Syncing audio from my OLED via eARC mostly worked well, but occasionally the TV's behavior would glitch, muting, wrong output selection. Some users in forums mention eARC CEC issues with certain TV brands. One Reddit user, for instance, said their Samsung refused to properly trigger an AVR's power, though their LG setup was more stable. In gaming and fast motion scenes, the lack of ultra-low latency mode, common in higher-end multi-channel AVRs, became evident to me. It wasn't unusable, but if you're a hardcore gamer chasing sub-10 millisecond latency, this isn't built for that level. Features and tech. Let's dig into the standout features, and more importantly, why they matter to you. 8K HDMI pass-through and upscaling from 4K sources, HCDP 2.3. This supports 8K 60Hz pass-through and upscaling of 4K sources, HCDP 2.3. For future-proofing, that means your next-gen consoles or streaming gear aren't limited by your receiver, and eARC ensures cleaner, high bitrate audio from your TV. Why it matters? You won't have to replace your receiver every time video standards advance. It can keep up with your TV setup. HEOS, streaming plus Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, AirPlay 2. This is where it flexes modern muscle. HEOS built-in gives you multi-room streaming capabilities, full support for major platforms, and seamless integration. Why it matters? You can ditch add-on streamers or network boxes. Your receiver becomes the hub of your digital audio universe. Smart home and voice assist integration. Built-in support for Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, plus AirPlay 2 gives you flexibility in how you control your audio. Why it matters? You can build voice or app-based control into your living room without getting creative with external hubs. Design and build. Aesthetically, Denon leans into clean minimalism, and it works. The front panel is brushed black with a slim LED display, rounded volume knob, and tasteful button layout. The look is understated but polished. Build-wise, it feels solid, no cheap plastics or wobbly knobs. The rear is cleanly laid out with gold-plated speaker terminals, 6 HDMI inputs, and a well-ventilated chassis. Some reports caution it's a bit heavy and deep, so make sure your AV rack can handle roughly 13 to 14 inches of depth. Ergonomically, the remote and app are serviceable, though the learning curve is non-zero. Some users complained that the quick start guide is confusing, and setup for Wi-Fi or HEOS was not always intuitive. Pros: premium, clean audio with clarity and headroom. Future-proof video side with 8K and eARC. All-in-one hub with HEOS and streaming built in. Solid build and elegant aesthetic. Cons: occasional eARC HEOS quirks with certain TVs. May fall short driving high-demand speakers. Learning curve on setup and UI.